Tonight was supposed to be unforgettable, but no one expected it to become history. In a matter of minutes, the internet seemed to stop breathing. Timelines exploded. Fan accounts went wild. Group chats lit up with screaming messages. Blurry screenshots, slowed down clips, and one repeated sentence over and over again. What just happened on that stage? Because tonight, under the dazzling lights of SW, in front of thousands of fans and millions more watching from around the world, Kim Taehyung and Jungkook did something that felt far bigger than just another performance. It was not simply a dance. It was not just a stage. It was a moment so magnetic, so precise, so emotionally charged, that people from every corner of the world instantly turned their eyes toward them. And just like that, Taehyung and Jungkook became the hottest global conversation of the night. A stage already filled with anticipation. Long before the first beat dropped, the atmosphere surrounding Swim had already become electric. Fans had been waiting all day. Social media was already overflowing with anticipation. Hashtags tied to Taehyung and Jungkook had begun climbing even before sunset. Outside the venue, crowds reportedly gathered with banners, phones, custom light signs, and expressions that said one thing clearly: tonight matters. There was a special tension in the air, the kind that only appears before something potentially legendary. People weren't just expecting a performance. They were expecting an event. And when Taehyung and Jungkook are involved, expectations never stay small for long. From the moment their names appeared on the lineup, the conversation online shifted dramatically. Fans weren't asking whether they would perform well. That was never the question. The real question was, how far would they go tonight? How intense would the choreography be? How strong would the chemistry look under live stage lighting? Would they hold back? Would they surprise everyone? Would they give the world one of those rare moments that people replay for years? By the time the venue lights dimmed, the answer was clear. They didn't just show up. They arrived like a storm. The first seconds that changed everything. When the intro music began, the crowd reaction was immediate. A wave of screams erupted across the arena with such force that the opening beat nearly disappeared beneath it. Then came the silhouettes. Two figures. Still, sharp, calm, dangerously calm. And that was the first sign that something was about to happen. Because Taehyung and Jungkook have mastered something few performers in the world truly understand: the power of silence before impact. Before the first major move, before the first explosive beat drop, before the first synchronized body line, there was that brief moment where they simply stood there and let anticipation consume the room. It was enough. The audience was already losing control. Then the lights shifted, the bass hit, and everything changed. Taehyung's opening presence was pure cinema. If there was one word fans used immediately after the performance to describe Taehyung tonight, it was this: unreal. From his first step, Taehyung moved with the kind of confidence that doesn't ask for attention. It simply takes it. His posture alone commanded the stage. Every shoulder roll, every head turn, every subtle hand motion felt deeply intentional. He didn't waste a single second. Even when he wasn't executing the largest move in the choreography, his presence never dropped. That's what made him impossible to ignore tonight. Taehyung didn't dance like someone trying to impress the audience. He danced like someone who already knew they were watching in complete shock. There was a fluidity to him tonight that fans immediately described as dangerous, addictive, and impossible to look away from. And perhaps the most talked about detail of all? It was the way he seemed to play with the camera without ever appearing obvious. One look, one half smile, one tilt of the chin, and suddenly, the internet had enough material for 12 hours of emotional collapse. Fans online were already clipping his opening seconds before the performance had even finished. That alone said everything. Jungkook came in with explosive precision. If Taehyung opened the stage like cinema, then Jungkook entered it like fire. The moment he fully stepped into the main choreography line, the energy in the room visibly changed. He was sharp, fast, controlled, powerful, and completely locked in. Jungkook has always had a unique ability to combine strength and smoothness in a way that feels almost unfair on stage. Tonight, he leaned fully into that power. His footwork was devastatingly clean. His transitions were seamless. His timing was so exact that even fans watching shaky live clips could immediately tell they were witnessing something exceptional. Every hit landed, every bodyline connected, every motion carried weight. But what made Jungkook's performance tonight especially unforgettable wasn't just technique, it was intensity. There was something in his expression tonight that made the performance feel even bigger. He looked focused in a way that instantly made fans feel nervous in the best possible way. He wasn't just performing, he was attacking the stage. And once the choreography started locking him into direct formation with Taehyung, the internet simply could not survive it. Then came the moment that sent the world into chaos. There's always one moment, one exact point in a performance where the entire internet collectively loses its mind. Tonight, that moment came faster than anyone expected. It happened during a major transition in the choreography, one of those sequences that, in real time, felt almost too quick to process. But the second fans replayed it, everything exploded. Taehyung and Jungkook stepped into the same line. Their movements aligned. Their timing snapped into perfect synchronization. Fans immediately started analyzing every second. The moment a stage becomes iconic, fans do what they do best. They investigate everything. And tonight was no exception. Within an hour, social media was overflowing with detailed observations. People began isolating specific moments from the choreography and discussing them with near academic seriousness. Which move had the strongest impact? Which transition looked the cleanest? Who initiated eye contact first during the center section? Which camera angle captured the chemistry best? Which bodyline was the deadliest? Which expression shift happened right before the crowd exploded? Every second became a subject of analysis. And that's because the performance had layers. At first glance, it was visually stunning. But once fans started replaying it, they realized there was even more hidden. Inside it, tiny details that made the stage feel richer and more deliberate with every watch. That's often the sign of a performance that will have lasting power. The first watch shocks you. The second watch reveals the craft. The third watch ruins your emotional stability. And tonight, many fans had already reached watch number 15. Taehyung's expressions became their own viral topic. One of the strongest side stories emerging from tonight's performance was Taehyung's facial control. And yes, people were talking about it a lot, because his expressions tonight weren't random. They were weaponized. There was a coolness to his face during certain sections of the choreography that made him look almost untouchable. Then, in other moments, he would soften his expression, just enough to completely alter the emotional tone of the scene. It was subtle, but devastating. And fans noticed immediately. Many online were saying that Taehyung wasn't just dancing tonight, he was acting through movement. That's part of what made him so difficult to look away from. His body was doing one thing, but his face was telling an entirely different story. That duality created tension. And tension creates obsession? It's why certain short clips of him tonight began circulating, independently from the full performance. Some fans weren't even posting the whole stage. They were just posting close-ups of specific expressions with captions like, "How is this legal?" And honestly, the question felt valid.